I'm alive. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sound Talk Show. And today is what date is today? Let's see. Uh, Insert date stamp. Today is 2021, March 13th. And today we are going to talk about. Mostly, I plan to do JavaScript. And any questions you have, and maybe I'll do Mathematica demo. Okay, like Mathematica coding, the fantastic Wolfram language. Okay, so if you have questions, post it there now. Okay, I'm going to read the questions, and let's go to the talk show page. And first of all, let me show you what is this. Okay, not that one. What is this page? Sound Talk Show, right? Okay, I need to go to the top sections. Okay, on the pink window is all my Emacs commands. You can see talk show index. Okay, so today's talk show, this page show in browser. There it is. Let me tell you the background the image. Okay, the background image is a fantastic image. Go to Xali keyboard website. But before, wait, let me check if I'm alive. Concurrent users, it drops every time when I start. It drops. So it was 15. So the DeepMind AI got 90% of 3D shape of a protein right. How long until Google became a literal god? Okay, that's a broad question. How powerful? Basically, about how powerful is Google or AI of Google is going to be, or in general, how powerful is AI going to be? Well, nobody knows actually. You ask anyone, including AI experts, their predictions are questionable. Yeah, because this is about the future, so nobody can really say. But about AI, yeah, the how powerful is AI going to become, that nobody really knows. It's really hard to say. In 5 years, first of all, let's give a time frame. Let's say in 5 years or in 10 years. Let's say in 10 years. Okay, in 10 years, how what is going to become of AI? How powerful is it going to be in 10 years? Artificial intelligence. We have self-driving cars now and artificial intelligence combined with robotics, and of course we have quantum computing on the rise. Anyway, let's limit to AI. So AI right now, it can beat closed games such as Go or chess. Go, for example, a few years ago, Google did it. And now Google is, of course, it's already using AI on lots of things, on filtering your messages, on finding who are your friends, on predicting your daily life next year. It actually knows you better than you do. So, but basically, what will happen in 10 years is hard to say. Actually, I mean, some questions, for example, will it change society in some major way? Will it change will it change the social structure, turning it into something else? Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows. So today's background picture is this. Okay, so here's my keyboard blog. You can see my fantastic keyboard blog. In fact, I'm busy with it. There are so many entries, new entry. For example, let me just show you the pictures. Okay, anyway, this text is important. Keyboard layout design versus input system design. It's one of my opinion. This article, this short, this is spontaneous reply from XR Discord. Spontaneous reply on Discord, because people are comparing William Gooch, the let me show you William Gooch's keyboard. Okay, where is it? There it is. That's his or her keyboard. So she's got this pinky keyboard. So he is saying, we are looking into various keyboard letter layouts. Actually, that's what I'm going to do today. Keyboard layout. Okay, so you can see this is QWERTY and heat map. Vorak, Comac DH. Um, okay, I need to put on my patch on for prevention of I have a little bit cross-eyed. So Comac DH Workman asset. So actually today my plan is to write a JavaScript. There's some changes I need to do. So we are studying keyboard layouts. Which one is better? In fact, there are quite a few more than what I mentioned here in my article. So by the way, this is a new one, Ngram layout. This one just came out this month, and this one is based on scientific study of ergonomics. So of all keyboard layouts, typically all these layouts are created by one single nerd. One single nerd write a program, compare the metrics, define, find the metric, define, then create a layout. But this one is actually more scientific. This one, he focused on it becomes a project. I don't know much about this one yet, but I feel that this one, if you really want to get the extra mile out of a keyboard layout, which is unpractical, by the way, QWERTY or Vorak is good enough. Or if you like Comac, you can go Comac or Walkman. But if you really, really, really want to say, what's the best layout, then 0.1 extra point better than all the others, I feel that this would be the one. This is Ngram layout. I just found out, he sent me an email today announcing his layout. He wants me to put on my website. But anyway, so this one is a new layout. So anyway, I was saying we are all studying layouts. Nerds, you guys nerds, studying all the different layouts, and you want to know which one is the better. I talked about this many times. After Vorak, then it becomes rather impractical question, because doesn't matter how better it is than Vorak, that little extra yard, that extra mile, that betterment, you are going to never going to realize it in your life if you use Vorak. If you use something better than Vorak, um, it's not practical issue. If you really want to go one step beyond keyboard letter layout, I've talked about this for hours, and several videos I talked about this topic. If you really want to go beyond the keyboard letter layout, then you should first of all, you should use the ergonomic keyboard. Okay, you should go get an ergonomic keyboard, because that has a far major impact than what letter layout you use. So this is the first stop. Get a ergonomic keyboard with mechanical keys. Okay, you want mechanical keys. That's the first stop. Then the second stop, in fact, you can forget about Vorak or Comac. These are actually not the first or second importance. So first of all, get a physical ergonomic, well-designed ergonomic keyboard, physical keyboard. That's the most important for ergonomic reasons, for your hand health, and also for efficiency reasons, so that it's not just healthy. I mean, there are a little bit separate issues, but related. One is ergonomic hand health. The other one is efficiency, how fast or how fast you can operate things. They are related, but they are distinct. For example, one example is function keys, F1, F2. I talked about this in many of my videos. Function keys. Many keyboard nerds, they don't they don't want function keys. They think, oh, it's not important. For example, this this Redux, they don't have function keys. And many of the others don't have function keys. For example, Cone Joon. So what they do, they press the control key modifiers, and they think that's efficient, the fast, okay, fast. On the other hand, if you have a standard PC keyboard, you can use the function keys, but you have to move your hand. So for efficiency reasons, we are, if you want to talk about ergonomics of efficiency, you need to become very, very, very specific, like exactly what's your question. So right now, let's suppose you don't really type that much. Okay, let's say you type all your typing on average for a day over a year is, let's say, so your daily typing can be typed in actually 20 minutes. Actually, you don't type much. Okay, so for some people, on average, their daily typing is equivalent to continuous typing for 1 hour. I did that. I thought I typed a lot, but actually, if you count you log your keystrokes and measure it, and let's say you type only 40 words per minute, then you'll find out how many. If you type continuously for each day, how much you actually type. For me, that's just actually 1 hour, no more than 1 hour. So I was, at that period, I was typing a lot, a lot. For a typical programmer, let's say for a typical programmer, you work at Google or whatever, Facebook, if you type continuously, your whole day's typing can be done in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. Okay, so you don't type much, you know. So these are some of the points. I have a lot of articles. Just read my website. These are some of the misunderstanding important point. So first of all, you need to know just how much you type. You have different classes: mom and pop, programmer, author, blogger who writes a novel, or novelist. Then at the other extreme is data entry clerk, where you go to work, then you start typing continuously until you go to lunch. Then you come back, you type continuously, data entry clerk. So that's the one extreme. On the other extreme, mom and pop, you don't use the computer much, maybe answer email too every day. So you have to know. So we have to focus on specific how much you actually type. Let's say programmers. So if you are a programmer, okay, I'm digressing into several levels hierarchy. So anyway, most important is to get a physical keyboard. That's the most important thing. Then, okay, what I was going to say, I was talking about some points. Why mechanical keys? I hate the sound. You can get red, silent red. Okay, I know you don't read much. You are not in a mechanical keyboard community. You want mechanical keyboard. Okay, I'm not going to talk about it today because I want to do JavaScript today. But anyway, so you want a mechanical keyboard. Okay, so yeah, they are loud. So you want to get the silent red version. There's a silent red mechanical switch. I have an article on that. Just click on design key switches. Also, this article introduces you to all kind of key switches. But even with silent red, it's still louder than rubber dome. So anyway, let me go back to focus on. So I was talking about ergonomic hand health versus efficiency. I was talking about they are distinct. They are related, but actually in details they are distinct, separate issues. And one of the example to illustrate why they are distinct is that for some people, like I mentioned, they like this keyboard without function keys. On the other hand, you have a standard PC keyboard with function keys. Now, let's say if you press Control C for copy. So on this keyboard, 30% or 40 keys keyboard, you have to control your thumb, Control and C. So that's pretty efficient. But on the other hand, you can set F1, the function key, to do copy. So you just press one key. So which one is faster? Okay, which one is faster? Now obviously with the modifier, if you are young, the modifier so is faster because you don't have to move your hand all the way. But which one is healthier? The function keys will be healthier long term. So we So getting back to so when we talk about when you dive into the science of ergonomic or keyboard design or efficiency, you have to be very specific. So first of all, ask yourself just how much you type. Is it are you like data entry clerk? You type continuously for 2 hours a day, or are you like a typical programmer where you can type your whole day's typing in 10 minutes if you just type continuously? So this is very different. So if you are the programmer class, you don't type actually that much, then this 30% it works fine, and it's fast. You don't have to move your hand all the way to function keys. On the other hand, if you really type a lot, if you are a novelist, you write blog all the time, several blogs a day, then you want a keyboard with function keys. So we are getting into details. So one is fast, okay. On the other hand, the other one is healthier. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying they are related but distinct concepts, ergonomic versus efficiency. So, so in general, if you have hand pen or if you are a programmer, you use a keyboard a lot, you want to first of all get a mechanical ergonomic keyboard. First of all, get a mechanical keyboard. Okay, that's the most important. Now, whether you want ergonomic ones, ergonomic ones usually are, split. That depends on whether you touch type. That's another complexity. That's another detail. Most people don't touch type and they don't want to learn it. I'm talking about lots of you guys, but so if you don't touch type, then these split keyboards are not much. Is not a good fit for you. So you can do fine. You can do fine with the normal flat keyboards. So first of all, so let me get back to the original topic. The most important thing is to get a physical keyboard with mechanical keys. You can pick ergonomic ones or you can pick these flat ones. That's the most important thing. After that, the second most important thing is that you want to get into the shortcut key binding. You want to consider key binding. Like, what software do you use? Are you a programmer? Are you using Emacs? So I mean, even if you or VI, even if you are not using Emacs or VI, if you use VS Code, Microsoft VS Code or Xcode from Mac, you still need to have a lot of key combinations, compile, debug, things like that. Also, if you are a web dev, JavaScript coder, then you have lots of JavaScript coder. You also have lots of shortcuts you have to do. Or maybe you are a professional photo editor, media professions. You edit Photoshop, you edit videos. In fact, today, tons of YouTubers, they have to edit videos every day using Adobe Premiere or whatever. I never edited video. So or if you are a gamer, so what I'm saying is that lots of these applications, programming or image editing, Photoshop, GIMP, or video editing, or 3D modeling, that's also a very popular job, media profession. Or so many of these applications, they have 100 shortcuts, and at least 50 of them are used every day. In Photoshop, you have to switch tools and so on. So when you so these are about keyboard shortcuts. Now, keyboard shortcuts is also there's a lot to study because you want the shortcut that's the most efficient. So keyboard shortcuts. In fact, I've done statistics. I'm not going to show you them now. Search for ergonomics. Search for XALI Emacs command frequency. So I've done studies on that. So basically, for programmers, in fact, most of your keystrokes is actually keyboard shortcuts. Okay, it's not data entry. It's not typing. It's actually most of your keystrokes is actually from keyboard shortcuts. Okay, for a programmer, even for a programmer, especially unless you are writing program by yourself and always writing program, never maintain it. especially if you are maintaining a program or need to do some bug fix, then most of your keystrokes are actually shortcuts. So that is why shortcuts layout, shortcut efficiency, there are so many to dive into. This is more important. This is more important than the Vorak versus QWERTY versus Cormac. Okay. So first of all, get a mechanical keyboard, preferably ergonomic one. Secondly, you want to look into the ergonomics of key bindings, or in other words, input systems. And again, that's a lot to study. For example, do you type a lot of math? Do you type LaTeX? Are you an engineer or scientist, have to type formulas a lot, or you work with Mathematica, or you have to type, or maybe you enjoy emoji. You are on Twitter or Facebook using emoji all the time. So emoji, how do you enter them? Again, shortcuts. So you have to. So there are many ways. There's input systems. For typing Japanese, for typing Chinese. So they are all related, and there are dead keys. There are alt graph keys. So you want to study keyboard shortcut design. But in summary, okay, I'll just give you one advice about keyboard shortcuts. Basically, if you are using Emacs, do not ever use the default Emacs key binding. Use Xafly keys or use VI Vim. And also, if you use VI, don't use the escape key. Use. I'm not going to go into detail, but that's what you want to do. Okay. So if you are not using Emacs or VI, what do you do if you are a programmer about shortcuts? Well, you buy a programmable keypad. Okay. So such as this page, you get a programmable keypad. So each key on this keypad, for example, let me show you mine. Okay, so I rambled for like how long? All about keyboards. I meant to do JavaScript today. 22 minutes already. Shit. And I haven't get to today's background image. So you look at, I showed this 1,000 times. Okay, so this is Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. That's my key macro pad. Okay, everything is one single press. You see, this is switch last window. This is switch to last window and previous tab, next tab, close tab, undo close, reload. You see, all single key press. Okay, so what am I? Okay, I spent 23 minutes talking about keyboards. That a huge digression. Okay, let me continue then. So first of all, get a mechanical keyboard. Second, buy a programmable keypad. Okay, or if you are using Emacs or Vim, use Xafly keys. Or for Vim, you use don't press the escape key. There are several issues you have to study. So that's the most important thing for efficiency and hand health ergonomics: mechanical keyboard and shortcuts. Programmable keypad. Okay, that solves the shortcut problem. You don't have to Control Shift Alt. That's one of the most cause of repetitive strain injury. Shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. And also remember, never use a laptop keyboards. Never. Maybe for 1 minute. Don't use laptop keyboards. I talked about this many times. It's a laptop keyboard in 2005 that gave me RSI, the first RSI. So let's go back to my talk show page. Let's go back to keyboard. I was going to show you. So I have several things new here today. In the past few days, I was going to show you this photo. Okay, so this is actually my keyboard. Actually, now I have a little collection. Now, this is truly ergonomic. This is Expose. This is fantastic. Okay, I highly recommend it. This is Google. This is Googleplex. Only 30 keys or something. And this is Microsoft Scoped. This is Kinesis. This is the best. This is in terms of handheld comfort. This is the best. Okay, and this is fantastic. This is going to. I haven't set it up yet. I talked about it about three videos ago. This is fantastic. It's got the thumb pad innovation. The name of this one is Signum keyboard. Okay, so that's the background. Okay, and one giant digression. So what about this article? This article is about I was talking about, we nerds, lots of us, in my circle who follows me are, looking at the keyboard letter layout. Okay, this is insignificant, all things considered, for efficiency of input and also for handheld ergonomic of input. This is the almost the least important thing. So next time you hear people say, "Oh, is Vorak better than Comac, or is it, or should you use Programmer's Vorak, or you should use Comac DH, minor variation, or should you use Walkman?" They they don't know. They don't know what's going. They are nerds. They don't see the big picture. They don't know what's actually more important. But they are nerds because this thing is an ongoing thing for 30 years. So they just focus on which one is more efficient. But it's the least important thing. So today there's a new one, Ngram layout. Okay, which I think is pretty good. Good. Okay, that's about keyboard layouts. What about $5? Thank you, Seed Addy. Seed Addy, thank you very much. Do you have a question? Thank you. So what do we do next? Okay, so let me finish one last thing. I was talking about keyboards, right? I was talking about, we nerds are obsessed about which letter layout is important. Not important. Okay, get a mechanical keyboard and study shortcut layout. Buy a programmable keypad. Okay, that's the thing. I mean, I'm just giving you these are the summary. I mean, these are the 2-sentence summary of my 30 years study on input systems, on keyboard layout, letter layout, and keyboard firmware. Okay, that is my 30 years experience. I'm giving you in 2 sentences. 1, buy a mechanical keyboard, preferably ergonomic ones. 2, look into the issues about shortcut layout. Okay, and as a solution, buy a keypad, programmable keypad. Okay, then after that, then you might consider layout. Okay, Vorak, first of all, QWERTY is pretty bad. It's a good thing you don't use QWERTY. Okay, switch to Vorak or Comac or some other. But between once you use Vorak or any others, they are they doesn't differ that much. You don't get much benefit out of it. Okay, so the first 30 minutes is about keyboard layout. Yeah, okay. I haven't talked about what this article is about. Keyboard layout design versus input system design. So when we are talking about keyboard layouts, okay, so we nerds are talking about all these keyboard layouts. Which one is better? By what metric are you using? What kind of, how do you measure which one? Is H better, or is it G better, or should you avoid lateral finger movements, or should you, how it should be, or lots of discussions and debates. So in this context, okay, so that still makes sense. Okay, among all these letter layout, although in general they are not important, but still it makes some sense to say which one is actually, scientifically maybe slightly better than the other, more efficient. So in this context, context, then some people mention, today we have keyboard firmware, QMK, okay? How do I summarize this? Well, basically, normally when we talk about letter layout, we assume that our keyboard is restrained to the PC keyboard layout. That is, you look at all these different layout, their their physical arrangement is all the same. You got big space bar, then you got 3-4 rows, then you got they are slightly slanted, staggered, so-called staggered, vertically staggered. So we typically assume, all the people, all the nerds, when they study this, they all assume that the physical layout is fixed. Okay. But however, gradually, because today you have a lot do-it-yourself keyboards. For example, today you have a lot do-it-yourself keyboards which has very different physical layouts, and also the software, the firmware used to control this keyboard, they have lots of programmability features. For example, you press one key, you can program it to actually send out Control C, then Control B, then Alt, then F4 or something. And that, okay. Besides that, you can also make, for example, if you press this key and release it, then you'll just enter T, for example. But if you press this key and don't release it and press another key, and that key becomes a modifier, so it becomes control something. So this feature, this ability is part of the firmware, part of this this keyboard firmware. For example, there's QMK, which is open source, the most popular QMK. I have an article on that. There's also, for example, there's also, let me show you a few, okay? So Keyboard IO also has a open source keyboard firmware, and it's, in fact, it possibly more, I'll just say it's more capable, okay? It's more capable. It's a better keyboard firmware and also open source, and it's better than QMK. Okay, why am I saying this? Because lots of these you guys nerds, idiots, open source fanatics, they will say, "Oh, QMK, why are you not using QMK? QMK my ass." This keyboard IO firmware, look up, their firmware is called Kaleido. Okay, it's open source and it's more powerful. And is more powerful and more quality programmed than the QMK FAQ, okay, keyboard IO. And also Kinesis keyboard layout, Kinesis, where is it? Kinesis, this the keyboard I'm using, the firmware is also open source on GitHub. Okay, just look for it, and it's I can't say it's more powerful or more than QMK, but it's up there. Okay, for example, I don't know if QMK supports on-the-fly keyboard programming. On-the-fly programming means you don't have to launch a driver to program your keys. You just press key. For example, on my Kinesis, I just hold down the, whether I should show you or not. I just hold on a key, then I press another key, and then start programming. So I can press this key and press another combination, then press the key again. That stops it. So after that, when I press the key, it'll just send whatever key sequence I want. So without needing to launch your software or even download software. So it's all built in the firmware. Okay. This is called on-the-fly programming, or sometimes driverless programmable keyboard. Okay, now that feature is part of Kinesis, open source. Now I don't know if that feature is in QMK. Maybe it is. And another problem with QMK is that it's very tedious, and you have to spend hours to study it. QMK. I have an article on that somewhere here. Software. Yeah, QMK, so I have a QMK tutorial, and it gets complex. Okay, you have to spend, you need to be a nerd. Besides that, there's more. Okay, not just keyboard IO Kaleido software, and not just Kinesis. There's more. There is Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. Okay, let's look at this one. Where is it? Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. That's what this one I'm using now. Okay, I showed you a moment ago. The software for Ultimate Hacking Keyboard is also open source. It's on GitHub. The name of that is Agent. Okay, UHK Agent. Okay, open source and powerful. It's the most I can show you right now. Okay, so UHK. Okay, this is the software for Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. Okay, now I can show you. You see, it's all one single key press. One single key press. Wait, I want to switch to last app. Do I still have the key? Yeah. Where is it? Okay. All one single key press. No Control Alt Tab, nothing. So this one single key press to maximize window, one key press to restore. So this one, for example, this is the keyboard macro I'm using. So you can see close window, close tab, previous tab, next tab, copy URL of the current window. Then this is the last window. This is select all, copy, paste, cut. This is new tab. This is reopen last closed. This is refresh. This is keypad enter. When I use Mathematica to evaluate, you need that. Then so that's that's the Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. So now I want to close the window. Control W doesn't work. You need to do Alt F4. So, but I don't use. You see, one single key press. You see. So that's Ultimate Hacking Keyboard, also open source. So the nerds, the open source fanatics, they every day they dribble QMK, 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 QMK my ass. QMK is not bad, but every time when you get like William, it's great. If it's great if you are a nerd like a Linux user, you spend days to study. Yeah, it's great. QMK is fantastic. But don't tell people that it becomes bad when you become a fanatic. Like most of the QMK open source fanatic are. They tell other people QMK. But in fact, they don't know, because they are obsession, they fanaticism. They don't know that there are actually better things than QMK and also open source. That's the thing. Okay, so that's okay. So today's whole talk is about keyboard layout, which I talked about 1,000 times already. It's kind of a giant digression. Okay, so thank you, Sid Ali. Break the loop. What keyboard layout do you use on your phone? On my phone, it's just QWERTY. Yeah, I don't use my cell phone much. Okay, let me read the questions. So today is gonna be keyboard then. 22 concurrent viewers. Okay, fantastic. So Thomas Olsen says that yeah. So about AI, the future of AI, nobody knows. Nobody knows what will happen in 10 years. To what degree AI, the power of AI will become. This is an interesting topic. So let me talk about that a bit more. So the people who are into AI very much, nerds typically, and they have a vision. That's a utopia. And there's a name for that vision. It's called singularity. Okay, singularity. That, in short, that is when AI becomes that. There's no exact definition when does that happen. But singularity basically means one of several things. One, when AI obtains consciousness to some level. This is probably the highest level. When AI have consciousness, okay, self-aware, or nobody can actually define what consciousness means. If you ask the AI, nobody knows. AI experts, nobody can define it. But but you kind of understand what that means, so when AI got consciousness, basically they become a sentient being, they become a AI animal, so they can think for themselves, or then there's the possibility they'll extinguish humanity. The AI will take over, as shown in a lot of science fictions. So that's one way you can say, when we have singularity, when AI has consciousness, or when AI power is beyond humans' brain. Like right now, Google is using lots of the AI technology. One of them is neural networks, which is kind of modeled on humans' brain. So I mean, basically, so what people are thinking is that computers are becoming faster and faster, and now we have more and more cores. The AMD Threadripper, which Emily has, 200 core, 196 cores, and that's not even, you can buy today for $1,000 or $2,000. This, best gaming machine. You spend $3,000. Anyway, so singularity. Another way to say singularity is when the number of transistors or something on the chip is more than human brain. So so AI becomes so greatly powerful. But or another way to say basically that's what singularity means. When machines, computers, usually when they becomes more powerful than human brain, they when yeah. So people in AI community are debating, are talking about when will that happen, or nobody knows. Nobody actually can say. And let me give you a few rants of my own about these AI topics or common topics among AI. One of them is ethics. The ethics about AI, which is a fucking fuck. A lot of people, including many of you guys, beginning even 30 years ago in science fiction. I know a lot of you read science fiction. So in science fiction, they think ahead. They think ahead. So one day AI is gonna be very powerful. They're gonna be sentient. So we should think about ethics. The ethics of AI. What for example, Asimov. There's a well-known science fiction writer whose name is Isaac Asimov, right? Am I still going? Am I alive? Okay. So post questions or a comment, just comment whatever. I'll get to answer. Ask me or just say. I like to see that. Okay. So there's a science fiction writer, very famous, Asimov something, Isaac Asimov, who created this very popular something called AI Creed or AI something, ethics of AI. This nerd fuck, I despise them. Because I don't think almost always this hacker type. There's this type of people I talked a lot. Unix philosophy, Unix people, Linux people. These kind of they are tends to be underground. Emacs users, VI users. I'm trying to find the term he came up with. Okay, so here is the guy Isaac Asimov. He's an American writer and professor of biochemistry, science fiction, and popular science. Asimov, okay. So artificial intelligence. Let's search for. Wait. He's known for, must be here. Occupation, genre, subject, popular science, history, and golden fiction, whatever. Field of study. A art. Search for artificial intelligence. So does anyone know what is the phrase he used? He came up with a phrase about the ethics of AI. What? Nobody? Where's my OBS? Okay, I'm still going 45 minutes. Three laws of robotic. Thank you, Camille. Thank you. Good morning to United Kingdom. Exactly, three laws of robotic. Fuck these nerds. Why? Why do I say that? Because I just the way I look at things, the way my thinking is just usually the hackers, contrary to the hackers, when these three laws of robotic, this is one of the thing, just like Unix philosophy. My people in my circle or who I follow or who follows me, tends to mention this all the time. Like blah 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 blah. Oh, three laws of robotics. That's fucking idiots. Okay, so when they mention this and I look at this, oh, three laws, to me, this is not a good, it's like it's not. This is not a thing I would think, and I don't think it's not the way to go. Yeah, I'm also concerned about, I'm also concerned about. Let me put it my way, okay, not the way typical Western people, typical Western people will say they are concerned about ethics of robotics. That's not the word I want to use. I'm concerned about the prosperity, the possibility or non-possibility of the prosperity of coexistence, or I don't want to use the word coexistence of humans and machines. Okay, I wouldn't even say coexistence, but so I mean, the way how you use words, diction, or phrases reflect your kind of your view of the world. So these three laws of robotics, that's a phrase I despise. What the fuck? What the fuck law? Western people, yeah, I can tell why they like this kind of phrase thinking, because law, to the Western people, kind of, who grew up in Western society, most of you guys, white people, in short, they think because law, they this is the word fundamental in Western philosophy, Western society, but not in Asia. Okay, so to the Western people, the law, oh yeah, law, yes, they get excited. So they have this term, three laws of robotic. Fuck the law. What the fuck? So this is not. So I kind of when I see this and I read about it's aversive. I find it aversive. That's not how you do things. Okay, so I think about the possibility. One day AI will be very powerful, and there might be a problem. What if AI become conscious and they take over, and things like that. So but I wouldn't say, I wouldn't put, come up with ethics or law. That's not, it's just it's hard to explain. Okay, so this is not the way I would go. But anyway, so all the nerds are mention this all the time. Okay, three laws of robotics. First law: a robot may not injure a human being. What the fuck? What the fuck is this? So this Western, you guys, a lot of you guys, Western people, or they approach, their view is like they. First of all, law is their fundamental value of life. They think in terms of law, so you have to have a law. In this case, it's kind of this is not a natural law; it's a human-created law. So they want to stick with the law idea. Three laws of robotic law your ass. So anyway, they then they think of in terms of ethics. Like a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. So in their attitude, in their viewpoint, is that they think of the machine, the human created machine, is kind of an entity That like the machine has a right, almost, right. Another obsession with the Western people. Or human has a right. The machine cannot violate the right of a human being not to be hurt. Then second law, a robot must obey the orders given by human being. Blah blah blah. Third law, a robot must protect its own existence. Yeah, crap. So I don't like it. Okay, this idiotic fuck. But so in USA today, since in beginning in the past 10 years, AI becomes very advanced. It's advancing very fast all over the place to the degree that you cannot keep up. You cannot know what's going on. And especially when AI is combined with robotics, it becomes very powerful. Now you've seen those Boston Dynamics robots. They very. Or think of the movie. The movie. What's the name of the movie? Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's a issue. Yeah, it's a issue. But how do I look at it? So if I hate, I find this aversive, the laws of robotic. How would I, kind of look at this thing? You don't. So okay, I don't know. First of all, I wouldn't come up with some phrase that you can plaster over the place that like becomes a meme. Became a meme. Oh, three laws of robotics. That's not how you go about. You don't create a phrase to so it becomes a meme to go over all over the place. You think so yeah, robots AI has will probably have a problem, so we solve it. We study it, we design, and we uh, spread information about our study, what we found, things like that, with the idea that we like to we create more and more powerful machines, which is beneficial to us, but we realize there's possible danger of it. So we just like everything, you just study, and if there's something that became dangerous, you prevent it. You do things to prevent it. Okay. But what the fuck is these three laws of the then ethics and rights, human what the fuck? Okay, that's my rant. Terminator, that's right, Terminator. And Skynet is the Google. And let me mention, break the loop. There's this guy today, very popular on YouTube, Lex. What's his name? Lex Leningan, whatever his name. AI, Lex AI. Okay, YouTube. Let's just search his name. This guy is an idiot. Okay, now I said that. Next time he, if I met him, that's gonna have a bad impression. Oh, you are the guy who called me an idiot. But okay. So what's the guy's name? Let's just go to YouTube. We'll find it. Okay. This Lex guy. He's like the Joe Rogan idiots on AI. He's on YouTube doing all kind of interviews related to programming and technology. Now, what the fuck is Google showing me? Artificial intelligence. Okay, if you search that, you'll find his channel. Okay, Lex something. Probably you guys, Lex Friedman. Yeah, these idiots. Yeah, a very boring guy, and I don't, what the fuck is he? So he is becoming the next Joe Rogan on YouTube. Let's find his name. Okay, let's find so people can see. Yeah, this guy. He's like, he's all over the place. He's doing interviews, like interview famous people every week. He has interviewed Stephen Wolfram of Wolfram Research. He has he has interviewed basically everyone in AI field, or even the C++ programmer, the C++ creator, uh, you know. So he interviewed them. And the first time I heard of him is from one of our Discord friend, a mathematician from Canada. This weird guy who he is posting about Lex. I think he's the first one I learned about him, about Lex Friedman, about 2 or 3 years ago. So I watched a few. At first I was interested because talking about AI. Yeah, I'm interested. So then he interviews Eric Weinstein, which is another guy I don't like. Let me give you advice, okay? Are you interested in AI? I know many of you are, right? We are the same, type of people. Stop watching this channel, okay? Let me give you advice. Stop watching YouTube. Not just this channel. Yeah, stop. Okay, here's the thing. Instead of watching YouTube where they chit chat about AI, where is it going, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Are you interested in AI? Dive into AI. Start to study Golang seriously. Master it. Don't chit chat and drama. YouTube. Oh, who said what AI is gonna happen? Oh, Singularity. Oh, Google's new library. Oh, does this? Oh, excited. Oh, JavaScript, another new something framework. Fuck. Study one language. Maybe Golang or something. If you are into Rust, master it. Study mathematics. Study computer science. If you are into neural networks, do that. Genetic programming. So my message is that you want to dive into the hard parts. Okay, stop reading about listening to these interviews drama. Who said oh, what's happening in AI. You dive into programming language, mathematics, the science of AI. Basically they come down to mathematics and lot different branches in computer science, which is part of math. Okay, logic. You do that. Okay, reduce. It's fun to watch these movies. These YouTube chit chats. But and depends on what you really want to do. If you are young, then maybe take my advice. It's fun to watch this once in a while, but you want to spend your time to actually dive into you know, put your hands on the serious problem, and it'll be good for you. Okay, maybe you'll become you'll work for Google, or you'll start your company, or you'll start to study the real issues. Okay, the actual thing, not just this chit chat. Because why am I saying this? This came from experience. Okay, on one hand, all my life I did study hard. Lots of the hard topic I did study hard, but meanwhile I also spent tremendous time watching this chit chat drama thing, because you want to know. Like, you go to Hacker News. Before there's Hacker News, there's Reddit. Before Reddit, there's Slashdot which began in 1999. I used to go every day. You read what's slash tech for nerds, things that matter. Matter my ass. So if you do that, if you are like me, you do that, you waste your life. You waste your life for 10-20 years. And also a lot of you guys, which programming should you learn? Which one is best? Stop reading that. Stop reading whether Rust is better, or some project leader at Google, he gonna tell you their experiences about Rust versus Stop that. Lisp versus Haskell. Stop that. Okay, stop that. Pick some one language that's practical. Even Haskell can be it. Focus, study it. Okay, study things, not listen to drama. It wastes your tremendous time in your life if you really want to go somewhere. Okay, so that's my advice. About machine learning, ML, okay, deep learning. So no, so Akira, hey Akira, oh I know Akira. No, Akira, you are late. I know you have a question. Say what you want to say about the keyboard layout. Okay, yeah, I know you have something to talk about. No, this episode originally I was planning to do some JavaScript, then live coding of JavaScript. Then I started become a random talk. I talked for so far I talked for 1 hour already. So that's about it today. Maybe 5 more minutes. That's it. Okay. Post your last questions. Okay. So originally it's supposed to be JavaScript live coding. Then I started to talk about keyboards, layout, ergonomic keyboards, all that for like 15 minutes. So the last 10 minutes is about AI, artificial intelligence. Just random. So Akira is trying your own layout. Okay, so yeah, so Akira, I was going to do today. Uh, I was going to write some JavaScript so that I can, I want to be able to type in real time and have this heat map shows up in real time. That's what I was thinking of doing, but now it's kind of too late. So here's the source code. So you can see here's the JavaScript code. It's magnified. Okay, well, yeah, that's not. So here's the JavaScript. I was going to modify it so that when you type, you can actually see the heat map as you type. For example, I have one. When you go to layout, then you go to character frequency. Okay, so for example, as I type, you can see a let's magnify. Okay, you can see a chart of character frequency. You see. So if I type I t t t t t t t t t t t t t, you see. So I want to do that for the for this, so you can see. So anyway, it's too late today. So maybe next time. So break the loop says, Sa, when you were younger, did you enjoy going to the arcade? Yes, of course. So I in 1980s, when I was around 10 years old, that is a day when the what's the first ping pong pong is kind of the first that became popular, but then you have the invaders, right? It's invaders, yeah. That's basically the first one. So that's when I was 10 years old. Oh, I was addicted to for a few years. At that time you have to put a quarter. I mean, I was in Taiwan, so you put I forgot how much is the coin you put in. But anyway, something like a U.S. quarter. Okay, so I put a lot of money, and it caused my parents problems. So yeah, I grew up with arcade. I was kind of I played a lot. Addicted to it. Space Invaders. Yes, that's then Galactica. Then Invaders. Space Invaders is not really a great game. It's kind of boring. But then Galactica becomes over. I played a lot Galactica and quite a lot others. So I think that's it for today. Let me just jump around, see any more questions, and we're gonna shut down in a minute or two. AI. So we talked about AI. I was wondering more about why mechanical keys. Okay, we talked about that. How do you feel about keyboard layers like Ergodocs? I don't like layers. Okay, I talked about that 1,000 times already. Uh, Don't we have a particular question? Just want to show support. Oh yeah, thank you. Uh, okay, that's it. Asanian, it would be more true if AI wasn't a black box. I forgot what's the context. What do you mean? The Balisk was awarded to you 15 points. When you talk about layouts, so Alan says when you talk about layouts, it's also important sitting posture. A lot of dev looks like hunchbacks in their mid 20s. Yeah, that's right. So again, this is the nth time I'm saying it. You want to get up and walk for 5 minutes every hour or every 2 hours. You must do that, okay? Because I have too much experience to tell you. Because I've been sitting then too much. Get up every 2 hours, walk for 10 minutes, and also look far away. That's important. Yeah, centipede. Okay, centipede. I played a whole lot. In fact, I have an article on that. I'm not sure I have centipede, but arcade. I have an article on some of the arcade games. Yeah, so there it is. Space Invaders, and there's YouTube. There's people who play these beyond the record. Yeah, shit. YouTube problem. Oh yeah, and this asteroids I played a whole lot. I'm quite good at it. Asteroid I played a whole lot. Then Defender. Oh my god, this is the game. Shit, all the videos are good. Defenders, that game I played a lot. I really love this one. One of the best game. Defenders. Then Phoenix. That's another one. This one is funky kind of. Then oh yeah, 1942. I played a whole lot. Then this R-Type was popular around 1987. No, the by the time I see it, it's 1990s. But anyway, it was very popular. But I haven't played much with it. Oh yeah, and the Space Harrier, quite a lot. Then there's Maze games. Okay, this I played a lot. Not back then, but like 10 years ago, I played on PC. On this I played a whole lot. Bomberman also very famous. And QIX. This is very interesting. Attacks. You know. Anyway, video games, arcade games. Do I plan to do a tutorial on auto hotkey? No. Uh, no, because okay, this is the last question. Then we're gonna shut down auto hotkey because 10 years ago, auto hotkey is fantastic. If you're on Windows auto hotkey, you need auto hotkey, but not today, because today, 10 years ago, the mechanical keyboards are not yet popular. Beginning, I have a history. I have an article on the history of, I'm not going to show it. But anyway, 10 years ago, let's say 2010, there's not much programmable keyboards. There are a few, but they are esoteric. Let me tell you, okay? So 10 years ago, all this doesn't exist, but however, this exists. Not that. Well, this, okay, and this one is very old. This one began in 1990s. Okay, very expensive. Like if you buy this one today, only for 16 keys, they sell like $200. Okay, so they are old company. Okay, but today, since 10 years ago, since Ergodox and Truly Ergonomic, then there's a boom of mechanical keyboards and do-it-yourself and 3D printers and technology. The technology growth exponentially. So today you have QMK, like we talked about. The firmware. You just open source. You just download it. You can So keyboard with a programmable firmware is far more robust and better than a operating system based keyboard transformation, such as AutoHotkey. So you want to get a programmable keyboard. Okay, I have you want a programmable keyboard with onboard memory. Okay, this is important, not just some gaming keyboard because they're no good. You want onboard memory. You don't want cloud. You don't want some that requires you to have a Windows software, then it connects to the cloud, then look up your database for your key mapping. You want the keyboard with onboard memory and programmable keypad. So once you have that, you can program into the keyboard firmware. It's far more better than AutoHotkeys or carry binder on the Mac or the Xmode map or the 1,000 other things on Linux. Yeah, so but AutoHotkey is still useful. Like right now I'm using it. Okay, so let's see. I can show you right now my AutoHotkey script. There, yeah, okay, so here's my AutoHotkey script. Not much. I have one for launch or switch to Firefox. Okay, so then I have a launch or switch to Emacs. Okay, then and toggle maximize window. Okay, so this is the key. I press the key to maximize and or restore. There's no way to do it without AutoHotkey, so I have a few. But otherwise, you want the programmable keyboard first. Okay, if you are on laptop, that's too bad. Nothing you can do. But try not to use laptop keyboard. Buy an external one. Bye, guys. See you next time. Okay, I give you 30 seconds to say whatever. Then I'm gonna click end. So I need to, yeah. I need to get my drinks. I'm being thirsty, non-stop talking thirsty. Thank you, Sid. Bye all.